Coming up on Mountain News this morning, soon President Donald Trump will take off from Washington, D.C. for Alaska for his much-anticipated meeting with Russian President. And the president says his administration is working to keep the Social Security Fund from running out of money.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this August 15th. It is 6 o'clock this morning and time for a look at our weather with Megan Dusmal. Megan, we have finally made it to Friday, so that's something to celebrate.
I would agree with you. And those temperatures are not as bad as they're going to be. So, I guess there's a little wind there. Still going to be a very hot day, especially this afternoon. So let's break into that forecast for you. This morning, the 60s and mostly the low 70s. And then the 90s. They are making a return today. Mostly upper 80s and low 90s is what you can expect. And we'll keep on seeing that warmth by the time we're heading into your Monday and Tuesday of next week. We're looking at mid 90s across most of eastern Kentucky. So take advantage of those low 90s while we have them. Here's a look at that live pinpoint Doppler radar this morning. Not seeing any rain being picked up, but the fog is strong as you're heading out the door. So just be careful if you do encounter any patches of low visibility. But for that Stonecrest Golf Course and Top Racer Range tee time forecast, today is a great day to go head out and golf. We're going to see those hot temperatures in the afternoon, though, so it is important for you to stay hydrated. Amelia.
A Breathitt County mother charged in her own son's death appeared in court for the first time yesterday. 10-year-old Jaden Spicer's mother, Felicia Gross, entered a not guilty plea yesterday in Breathitt County. It's the first time that she's been seen since police say that she confessed she was involved in her son's death. In the wake of Jaden Spicer's death, loved ones and perfect strangers are coming together to grieve. A local missionary of mercy says it's another life gone far too soon. Father John Schicko says life is just as precious when it's over as it is in the moment. To honor Jaden's unique personality and spirit, Father Jim is partnering with Soulshine Industries, a nonprofit based in Texas that makes custom caskets.
It's not just about pending caskets. It's about representing loved ones' lives.
Father Jim says Jaden's casket will be Spider-Man themed. While Soulshine Industries does them for free, Father Jim says he will pay them so they can continue to do the work that they do. Louisville leaders are calling for change after a shooting near a school bus stop. Radija Williams' family says that she was killed while walking a child to the bus. The shooter is still at large. Community leaders had strong words at a news conference yesterday morning. Family members say Williams was a good person and that her family will not stop fighting for justice.
I had to watch my sister lay on that ground and take her last breath, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Police say a teenager they questioned in this case is facing charges for another shooting in the area. Former Letcher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins is scheduled to appear in court today. Video shows Steins shooting Letcher District Judge Kevin Mullins inside Mullins' chamber last September. Steins was later indicted for murder. His defense filed a motion to dismiss the indictment and a motion for bond. Both are expected to come up during the hearing set for this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Well, deputies are looking for 2 jet skis that were reportedly stolen at Laurel Lake. The jet skis seen here were tied up to a houseboat at Holly Bay Marina. If you know anything, you are asked to call the Laurel County Sheriff's Office at 606-864-6600. The Kentucky Democratic Party brought its Medicaid defense tour to Hazard yesterday, raising concerns about the impact of recent federal budget changes on rural health care. Congressman Andy Barr, who voted for the bill, says the changes are aimed at protecting the program for those most in need. WYMT's Caroline Mueller tells us what leaders on both sides are saying.
At Hazard Community and Technical College, local and state Democratic leaders and healthcare advocates warned that federal budget changes could mean fewer people in eastern Kentucky have health coverage and fewer hospitals to serve them. Perry County was chosen for the tour's first stop because more than half of its residents, about 51%, rely on Medicaid.
These cuts are not fiction, they are fact, and they will be devastating for people in Hazard and in communities across Kentucky.
Perry County Democratic Party Chair Zach Hall says the cuts could affect as many as 200,000 Kentuckians, put dozens of rural hospitals at risk of closing, and hit addiction recovery and maternal health programs hard.
Nobody voted to lose their health care coverage. Nobody voted to lose their job. Nobody voted to have to travel 2 or 3 hours to get routine health care coverage.
Greg Burke, who runs Beacons of Hope, says Medicaid funds nearly all of their addiction recovery services.
About 99% of our people that come to Beacons of Hope use Medicaid to get there. We have no other option in eastern Kentucky.
Congressman Andy Barr says the bill does not target the most vulnerable and instead focuses resources on children, seniors, people with disabilities, and others who cannot work.
If you're a 30-year-old able-bodied man, you don't have any kids, I want health care for that guy too, but I want him to get his health care through a job, either a good paying factory job or in the mines or, you know, in some other business so that they can get their health care through the private sector.
Barr says the legislation also includes $50 billion for a rural health transformation program to help offset the changes, but acknowledges it may not be enough.
I'm going to work hard to prevent these rural hospitals from closing, and I'm going to advocate for them. And what I will promise I will work on doing is making sure that Kentucky gets its fair share of this rural health program funds.
The new Medicaid provisions are set to take effect in 2027. Both sides agree there are still unanswered questions about how the changes will play out and whether eastern Kentucky's rural hospitals will be able to adapt. In Perry County, Caroline Mueller, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, we did reach out to the Perry County Republican Party, but have not yet heard back. We also reached out to Congressman Hal Rogers, who sent us a statement echoing Barr's stance. It reads in part, Republicans pushed for a bold plan to protect the longevity of Medicaid by eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse from the program to ensure that it will be available for those who truly need it for years to come. You can read what Representative Rogers had to say in full by finding this story on WYMT.com. Soon, President Donald Trump will take off from Washington, D.C. for Alaska for his much-anticipated meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. It comes 2 days after the president warned of severe consequences should Putin not agree to end the war with Ukraine. The White House has described today's sit-down as a listening session since Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will not be present, though President Donald Trump is pushing to include him in future talks.
We're going to find out where everybody stands. If it's a bad meeting, it'll end very quickly. And if it's a good meeting, we're going to end up getting peace in the pretty near future.
Volodymyr Zelensky traveled to Berlin and London this week to shore up support from allies ahead of the summit. In a virtual call with Trump on Wednesday, Zelensky and European leaders pressed the U.S. president to push for an immediate ceasefire, and they pledged to ramp up pressure on Russia if necessary. And the president says his administration is working to keep the Social Security Fund from running out of money. The president signed a proclamation yesterday on the 90th anniversary of the program. President Trump says Social Security is rife with fraud and it needs to be protected if Americans want it to stick around. The Social Security Board of Trustees says at the current rate, the fund is only able to pay out full benefits for the next 9 years, with a reduction beginning in 2034.
This morning, we're looking nice, warm, hot, all the words that we've been describing the mornings the past couple of days, but just a little bit more amplified. This morning, we are nice and clear on that live pinpoint Doppler radar, but that fog is dense this morning. And then we'll see some scattered showers in the afternoon. In terms of temperatures, it's a little bit hotter than we've seen, mainly sitting in those low 70s. And then this afternoon will be even hotter. We're sitting in those low 90s all across eastern Kentucky, looking at chances for mid-90s as we're heading into your next work week. But in terms of what you can expect over the course of the day, we'll see high temperatures in the afternoon around that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock time frame is when it will be the hottest. And we're looking at a mixture of partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies, and again, a slight chance for some scattered shower activity. Amelia.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on Mountain News this morning at 6:10. A lawsuit and an investigation into the practice of illegal immigrants paying for driver's license under the table. We've got the details.